So Lee, I was looking online just a couple minutes ago and saw, and I didn't even know this was a thing. So there could possibly be, and you know more about this than I know about it, but Kirk Cousins and Sean McVay. I had no idea there was any connection there because when I saw that, I was
Yep.
like, Kirk Cousins and Sean McVay, like what? How that even go together? But you was kind of breaking it down from them being on the Commanders together, and I truly had no idea. But so seeing all that Kirk Cousins has gone through, right? You would welcome Kirk Cousins, there in Los Angeles. I
Yeah,
mean,
I would be. Yeah, in
yeah,
LA. Yeah, with the Rams, I would be comfortable with that. I would be comfortable with it. I mean, all things considered, right? You hope that there would be no need for him to have to play. You want to make sure that Matt Stafford is healthy and he's able to finish out the entire
yeah,
season, right?
yeah,
But if situations, we all know this is football, anything can happen, and if he has to miss a game or two because of the history with Kirk and Sean, with their time with the Commanders. And remember now, this is during the time where Kirk Cousins, he had taken over from RG3, and it really catapulted his career as a professional quarterback. And then even with McVay, simultaneously, it put him on the map as well. And shortly after that season, he became the head coach for the Rams. I think there's definitely a chemistry there, the way that Kirk is able to adapt to not just Sean's play, but his style of coaching. And yeah, I'm watching some interviews with Sean McVay today at the owners conference, and he's basically petitioning for Kirk to call the Rams. It's to
okay,
let them see if he's interested in coming on board. So with that being said, if Sean is signing off on it and saying, "Hey, look, he
yeah,
would like
yeah,
to bring Kirk in," then I'm good with that because it shows me that Sean believes that he can coach him up, he can understand, come in and get in line with the playbook.
yeah.
That's all I need to know.
This is the thing that I'm interested to know. Back then when Kirk Cousins when he was there with the Commanders, he was really playing really well, taking over for RG3. And, since bounce around a couple teams. So I guess there is familiarity there with the playbook or because he was in that system. Is it a similar system or that Sean McVay was running in Washington that he's running right now in LA? And I guess since there is some familiarity, I guess Kirk is smart enough and intuitive enough to kind of pick up the offense like really quickly. If this were to happen, he could pick it up faster than anybody else. I assume.
I don't think it has anything to do with his acumen or his ability to pick it up better than anybody else. And I don't think the system is the same. It has definitely evolved since that time. But I think it's just the style, right? McVay's style and his methodology, the way he actually calls plays. I think that part is there's some comfortability there with Kirk being able to come in and pick it up.
Yeah, yeah,
We saw what happened a couple of years ago, his first year with the Falcons. That playbook, he wasn't able to pick that up, and
no,
it was documented in the quarterback in Netflix quarterback series where he said it like he doesn't feel like he's understanding what is being asked of him on the plays, and it took a while. In this situation, I think because again of McVay's style and the way that he puts his plays together, whatever that may be, like history showed that Kirk was adaptable to it and he
right,
was able to play at a high level
yeah,
working with McVay.
yeah,
And so it lends me to believe that Sean thinks that it's similar enough to where he feels Kirk can come back in after almost 10 years and pick it back up again.
yeah. That'd be interesting to get Kirk Cousins back in there because I for sure thought he was he was trash and he was done. I didn't know because
Well,
I know he's still out there, right?
mhm.
And people are coming off the Achilles the previous year and, leaving the Vikings, going to Atlanta, kind of struggling there. But I guess when you look at it, from an offensive coordinator standpoint, he again really was in a system per se that could insinuate his strengths or what he has. So if McVay has this how he calls the plays, like you say, can really play up to his strengths, I guess he could even revive his career if something would have happened to to Matthew Stafford. Do you
I
think?
wouldn't go
Okay,
that far.
okay.
No.
Here's the question. Okay. Let me ask you this: if Matthew Stafford was to get hurt, okay, so he get that back
Yeah.
injury, something happened, second game in the season, can Kirk Cousins come in and you guys are on a Super Bowl trajectory? Can he come in and take y'all? Do you believe, far in the playoffs? Because y'all expecting the Super Bowl at this point. So, can he take you? You feel confident he could do that?
I hate to talk about these type of hypotheticals because I don't want to speak something like that into existence. I really don't.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I got you.
I do think that Kirk Cousins can pull a Nick Foles, right?
Okay, yeah, yeah,
I think that he can do that only because of the confidence that Sean seems to have in him and the track record, albeit 10, like almost 10 years ago. I get it. That's a lot of time and space between. And yes, Kurt has bounced around, but it's not as if Kurt has been an absolute scrub, right?
yeah,
He played
exactly.
decent ball. And even going into last year, he was playing good ball. Like Atlanta was on a heat at the end of the season,
Yeah,
right? They were
they were
playing
balling.
good with him. They were balling with him after Penix went out because now Kurt started to get comfortable with the offense.
Yeah,
He got comfortable with the scheme, and you can see he was dishing and he was distributing the ball, getting it to Pitts, getting it to Drake London. Bijan was doing his thing, and they were winning games. They beat us,
right, yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I think he can come in limited time and he can win, I think, crucial games for us if need be.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's interesting, man. Yeah, but we'll see what happens. That would be
we'll see. We'll
yeah,
see. I
that'd be
hope,
good.
like I said, don't want it to ever come to that,
I got you. I
right?
got you.
But
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
I feel like he would be a good safety net in case something
yeah,
does,
yeah,
go
yeah,
off for a couple of weeks.
yeah. Yeah, so sticking on this QB bandwagon,
Mm-hmm.
the Cleveland Browns, man,
Mm-hmm.
they say they are excited for Deshaun Watson to come back. Now, Deshaun Watson hadn't really played football in what? How many years has it been?
Feels like it's like 2
Four, three,
years,
three, two,
two,
three.
3.
Yeah,
I
two,
think it's
three
been
years.
two and a half,
Two.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, this is just my opinion. I don't need people in the comments to beat me up about this. This is just my opinion by myself. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting that disclaimer out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun Watson isn't the answer, man. I don't know what Cleveland doing over there. He's not the answer. I don't think Shador Sanders to me right now is not the answer. I don't think they have the answer on their team right now. But for the owner to prop up and say he's excited about Deshaun Watson coming back, who hadn't played in about 2.5 years, I don't know what you expect. Now, before all of this went down, and this is what happens with players. When you have legal issues, you have troubles, you have things going on. I think he's married now at this point, after all of that. How do you even how can you come back? I hadn't seen a player, maybe a player that has sat out for 2.5 years and has come back to really do something I'm talking like make a splash. I can't, there's no memory. I can't recollect that right now of a player that can. So I don't know what they expect from Deshaun Watson, but I really, hear me on this. He was really good. He was great. He was getting to that point where he was looking like he was going to be, a real franchise type quarterback. But after all of this happened, then a couple injuries and stuff that he had, it's not the same. I think he needs to just hang it up.
So
I put him in the same category as Colin Kaepernick at this point.
gotcha. So I mean, come on, Links. I mean, this one should hit a little bit closer to home for you, right? How long was Michael Vick in prison before he got picked up by the Eagles?
Yeah, he was in there a
right?
little bit. Yeah, yeah,
Right?
that's
Right?
a good point.
Right?
That's a good point. Yeah,
Right? And
that's a
then
good point.
then you'll end up giving him another $100 million contract,
That is
right?
true. That is true.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I
yeah,
agree.
it could
Okay, yeah,
happen.
that's a
It could
good one.
happen. I mean, Deshaun Watson is still in his prime. I'm not saying that he's Michael Vick, right? I want to
Right.
put that out there. I'm not saying that he's Michael Vick, no. But Deshaun Watson is, I think, a really good quarterback. And I still go back to his last year with the Texans. He put up some really good statistical numbers on an atrocious team. The team was horrible, but he put up some really good numbers. You could go ahead and you could look that up. You come to Cleveland, and it seems like every quarterback goes to Cleveland to die. Like
Yeah.
no quarterback over the past, I don't know however many years. Baker Mayfield had somewhat of a halfway decent, stint there, but it's just the ecosystem is just horrible.
Yeah.
That being said, I think that he's still in his prime athletically from an age perspective. And I think that he can still produce if put in a situation to succeed. So yeah, the 2 years, I know that you can have a little bit of anxiety around that. That's a long time to be away from the game and not, seeing any sort of game speed, all that stuff. I get that. But, Vic did it, right? So
Yeah.
and I remember there's another quarterback, he was a little bit older in his career than both Vic and Deshaun Watson, Randall Cunningham, when he ended up
Brandon
with the
Cunningham. Yeah.
Vikings. I
Yeah.
think he actually
Yeah. Yeah.
retired for
Yeah.
like a
That's true.
season or
Yep.
two and came back and took him to the NFC Championship game. So
Yep.
it can happen. It can happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking this up right now.
Hmm.
So when Michael Vick came out of prison, he was 29 years old.
Yeah,
Right? He was
yeah,
29. How
yeah.
old? Let me see. How old is Deshaun
How
Watson?
old's Watson?
Let's see. Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is 30 years old. Okay.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's similar. They right there.
Not too bad. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty close.
that's not bad. So it's right there. Now you said it. Deshaun Watson is not Michael Vick, right? And Deshaun Watson is not Randall
But
Cunningham.
and to be fair, when Michael
Yeah.
Vick came back at 29, he wasn't Michael Vick.
He wasn't Michael Vick. He wasn't Michael
He
Vick.
wasn't
Yeah.
Michael Vick.
He
He
had to
wasn't as
be.
elusive
Yeah.
and as fast. He had to start playing
Right.
more with his head,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
did a
Yeah.
really good job of doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I look, never say never. Never say never.
Right.
If 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 Watson, if they are look, and check this out. They spend so much money on this dude, they gotta do something. I
Yeah.
mean, they gotta get
That's why
something.
the owner has to say what he's saying.
Yeah.
You got to get
He got
something back,
they
right?
gotta get
Because all
something,
of
man.
that, it was all guaranteed money, unprecedented, right?
Guaranteed.
So
Yeah, straight
he's
up.
got to say something. They got to play
Yeah.
him. If
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
if he's back and he's healthy, they
Yeah.
got to play him. Otherwise, that
Yeah.
means that 200 whatever plus $1 million contract just
It's a
wasted. So yeah,
waste.
he's gonna start. If he's healthy,
Yeah.
he's gonna start.
Yeah. 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 For sure. For sure. Um, so in your division, the 49ers,
Hmm.
they say, man, look, NFL say, you guys, this is going to be, a game in Australia. The 49ers say, man, look, man, we don't want, we don't want to go to play in Australia. It's too far. We got family. You got to take your family. You got all the equipment. You got to pay all these people. It's
Yeah.
not the right field. It's not. Y'all try y'all best to do. This is the beginning of the season. This is just too much to start the season off with. We need to be at home. We need to be in our facility, and we really don't want to go to Australia and play, the first game of the NFL season in Australia. These guys are in your division, and I mean they had a pretty good season last year with all barring all the injuries and stuff they have. I mean, how can you blame them? You can't blame them. They going over there. They got all these injuries, people coming back off of injuries and stuff. They don't need to be traveling all the way to Australia, man. Give these dudes a break. Oh, a break, man.
Yeah, I don't hear the other team whining and crying about it, right? You hear anything from the
Yeah,
other team that they're playing, right?
yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
mean, look, yeah, they look. and they playing the Rams, by the way, in that game. But you take it in stride. I mean, look. So I read the comment. To be fair, I
Right.
read the comment, and I get where Kyle Shanahan is coming from. In a game like this, where you gotta fly, you gotta play in
Yeah, across
Australia,
the
and
world.
right, and so basically, you they're a day ahead, a whole
Yeah.
day ahead of you,
Whole
right?
day. Yeah.
So you lose a day, okay? You lose a day, you play the game, and then you come back, and it's like you get that day back, I guess. It's gonna be kind of weird.
That
And
is weird.
for it to be, I think the problem that he has with it primarily is the fact that it's week one.
Yeah.
Typically, when you have a game like that, you want that to be in the middle of the season so that you can get a bye after the game.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing is how is that going to play out coming back from a game like that, from that distance, with that kind of time lapse, and then have to
Mhm.
be prepared for week two to play.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
so that's going to be interesting. So I get, like, I think he has a legitimate gripe on it,
Yeah.
but look, it's schedule. I think it's good for the sport, and he did say that it's good for the sport, it's good for the league, right? To you're basically, you're showcasing the brand, you're getting, notoriety, publicity, stuff like that. That's good,
Yeah.
but it's going to be taxing on the teams.
Yeah.
And 49ers over the past couple of years, they haven't done as much traveling as the Rams internationally.
Hmm.
So it may be a leg up. The Rams, I think they may be a little bit prepared. I don't know, maybe not. But for the most part, we've had a lot more international trips than them over the past 5, 6 seasons. So
Yeah.
you'll see how it plays
And
out.
yeah, that is true. And I think with you guys, because didn't y'all do like a back to back kind of, y'all were international for 2 straight weeks or something like that, right?
Yeah. And you
Hmm.
had a couple
Yeah.
of teams that have done that, but yeah, the Rams have been, and this is even going all the way back to the St. Louis Ram days, right? Like we've been,
Right.
I think during the last couple of seasons in St. Louis, um, we were playing every year in London. And this is before it
Yeah.
was a thing, right? We were
Right.
one of the first teams to pioneer that. Um, Largely because Shad Khan was in the running to be the owner for the team at that time. And I think he was really pushing to move a team over there as well. So that's what the motivation for it was back at that point. But even after that, moving to LA, there was still a lot of international movement and games going on. And so I think McVay and Snead, they have a regimen in place
Hmm.
where they basically have a set plan on how they move now with these international games. And man, we've been pretty successful in those games the past couple of seasons.
Yeah, y'all definitely have it down pat, with how to handle that and move around
Yeah.
logistics and all that kind of stuff like that. I know teams are getting into it. Like you say, it's good for the NFL, it's good for international scenes. You think they'll ever go to the Bahamas, man? Can the Bahamas handle that?
That would be great. They would great,
Yeah,
but you know what? No, let's not go there because I don't have nothing pleasant to say about that. I don't, and I'm trying to get in trouble. I'm
just
not
leave
trying
that
to
one
get in
alone. We'll
trouble.
table that.
Let's
We'll
leave that
table that.
alone. Let's leave that alone.
All right.
And play well.
Yeah,
And play well. And play well. Right? Where they can play. What
yeah,
facility?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. I
Man,
got you.
nah, I enjoy
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah. So, all right, man. So, we can jump back on tomorrow. I know we got a couple scenarios.
What about the flag football, right?
Yes. We talked
Yeah.
about the flag football last week, and you sent me the article today
Yeah.
with the NFL, launching their flag football league. So that leads down the path of what we were saying with NFL players um trying to
Well,
get
well,
to play.
try.
But
Yes,
what you
they definitely trying. Because I mean, even I think about a year and a half ago, when they was launching this promotional tour or campaign,
right?
sorry,
Yeah,
officially from the NFL about flag football, they had Justin Jefferson, I think, at the press conference, and he was saying that he wanted to play. Okay,
yeah.
so and you had a lot of NFL players petitioning, hey, they want to try to get involved in this thing.
Hmm.
And as we spoke last week, where we had some people call us out online saying that we was being disrespectful to some of these NFL players about how we was comparing them to the flag football leaguers and saying that NFL players they're not ready for that. Like they can't just jump on a flag football team and compete with these guys.
Right, right.
And the evidence was shown with the game with the USA team against Brady and Burrow and that bunch, and they got lit up by the USA team. So what you're gonna have is you're gonna need NFL or ex-NFL players who are still in top shape to make this team. Like those are the guys I think are going to be the ones to make a push to try to get on the team. And right after we made that statement, you had RG3 come out and they said that they want to bring him on the team, and it was an official announcement by Team USA for RG3 to join.
Yeah.
And so that bears some fruit there. And then on top of that, now you have the NFL partnering with Tiger Woods to formulate a new NFL flag football league. Now, I still need to read through the details and kind of get all the particulars on that, but that's a big thing. And that goes back to what we were saying about how the NFL, they want their hands in this. Like,
absolutely.
There's too much. This is a lot of money. It's going to be very lucrative. You're going to have a lot of sponsorship, a boatload of participation. Now, any and everyone, no matter how tall you are, how short you are, your gender, it doesn't matter. You are now applicable to be a part of football in some way, shape, or form, whether it's tackle or flag. And the NFL, they want all of it.
Yeah.
They want all of it.
And they're going to get it. And they're going to get it.
Yeah, they're going to get it too.
The one thing that I'm disappointed about, though, is you got these guys, man, who've been playing flag football their whole lives. And they built themselves up to the level of being the Olympic talent. Now they're going to get overshadowed. I mean, they're not even going to, a lot of these guys probably won't, if the NFL guys come in and start taking over certain positions, then you're going to have guys that are capable of winning for the USA not having the opportunity to play.
I don't see it that way, because I think if the NFL does go ahead and they start this league, those same guys that you're talking about, they're going to be participants in that league. Okay. And so I don't know how deep this league is going to be, how many teams it's going to be, but it's going to start off with a certain number and it's going to expand. Right. What's going to happen though is that they're going to promote it. They being the NFL, and as they promote it, those flag football players, they're going to get more notoriety. They're going to start to be the face of that particular league, which is going to make it that much more difficult for an NFL player to insert themselves in any sort of Olympic capacity going forward.
That's a good point. Yeah. So I guess it's a win-win kind of situation for those guys. If you look at it like that, that's a good way to look at it. They will get that publicity, and the NFL is going to push it all the way till the end. So, and then you start looking at, truly getting paid and contracts and sponsorships and gambling and all that, that comes with it. That's going to take it to a whole nother level. So, yeah.
Oh boy, I didn't even think about the gambling aspect.
That's going down. That's going down. Yeah. It's such a fine line nowadays with the gambling stuff, because you truly don't know, like, who's being paid off, who's being bought, who's shaving, who's you want to watch the sport as a pure sport, and I know there's a lot of that, but then you got refs involved, you got coaches involved, you got players involved, and you just don't know at any given moment, what, like, was this intentional, or and guys can make it look, they can make it look real, and some guys can't do it, but it's just, and it's on all levels, man. It's on all levels. You look at it, it's in high school, it's in colleges, it's in pro level, and what can you say? It's already started.
And what's so funny, what's not helping right now is the issue the NFL is having right now with the referees, with the whole labor dispute that they're having right now. So it looks like as if the CBA talks with the refs, with their union has broken down, and the NFL is now looking at potential replacement refs going into next season. because the deadline is coming up to get the CBA done, and it doesn't look like they're going to meet the deadline, and so they got to start putting in some contingencies. That's going to open up a Pandora's box, right? When though if replacement refs have to come in, and this will be refs from college and high school,
Right.
calls going to get missed, calls are going to get messed
Yeah.
up, and you
Yeah.
don't know what the motives are. There's going to be a lot more speculation. It's going to be messy. It's going to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
messy if that happens.
Yeah, definitely going to be messy. But I think, if it does happen like that, we all know only one or two things could happen. These guys are so bad that they forget that collective bargaining agreement done like immediately, or they could be serviceable, and they say, well, and we're going to hold this off and let these guys run with it throughout the season. So,
Well, they better hope it's the latter, because the formers would actually happen in 2012 when they had the same situation. And those with replacement refs were so bad, they was like, look, come, bring the real
yeah,
refs back in.
yeah,
To where when
yeah,
the refs came back, you had people giving them, the crowd was giving them standing ovations. That's how bad it was to the refs.
yeah.
Crazy,
Oh
man.
man, that's hilarious.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. So, all right. Well, hey, we'll see. We'll talk about some more stuff tomorrow.
Yep.
We'll get Doc on here. We got a good couple scenarios to talk about. I'll have a couple for you.
All right, cool. Sounds
All right.
good.
All right, man.
All right, man. Later.
All right. All right. Later.